Hi everyone, sorry about that. I did not realize that the audio had stopped on my last video, so this is part 2 of your division algorithm video. So I believe I left off down here where I was saying, okay, we're going to use the algorithm here and use the numbers 23 and 5. So we start out, step 1 says to set Q to 0, we did that. Step 2 says to set R to N, I did that. Then we go into our loop. And our loop says as long as R is greater than or equal to D, then go ahead and add 1 to Q. So I'm going to add 1 to Q. I'm going to come down and I'm going to subtract 5, which is D, from 23, from R. So this becomes 18. All right, R is still greater than D. I do it again. This is 2. Subtract 5, 13. Still, 13 is greater than 5. I add 1. I subtract 5. Still not there yet. I have to add 1 here to Q and subtract 5, and I get 3. At this point, I am now at a value of R that's not greater than or equal to D, so these are my values. Notice this is my Q value, and this is my R value. So what we're saying here is that 23 div 5 is equal to 4. And in the same token, we can do 23 mod 5 is equal to 3. And that makes sense, right? Because 5 times 4 is 20, plus the remainder of 3 is 23. All right, let's take a look over on the right here, where I have a different set of steps if I'm starting with a negative number for n. This time, I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to put Q here, and then I'm going to put R here. And so we'll go down through the algorithm using the numbers that we have here. So we start out by setting Q to 0. We set R equal to N, so R is minus 13. As long as R is still less than 0, then I continue and I subtract 1 from Q. And then as long as, then R plus D. So minus 13 plus 6 is minus 7. I come back up, minus 7 is still less than 0. I subtract another 1 from Q, I get minus 2. I subtract 6 from 7, and I get minus 1. I'm still less than 0, so I have to go through it again. I'm going to subtract 1 from Q, I get minus 3, and I'm going to take minus 1 plus 6, which is going to give me a positive 5. At this point, I can stop, because now 5 is not less than 0. So now I can write my equation as minus 13 div 6 is equal to minus 3. And minus 13 mod 6 is equal to 5. All right, so that makes sense because if I take 6 times, so if I take this value 6 times minus 3, I get minus 18, plus the remainder of 5 brings me back down to minus 13. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The next thing we want to work on, is finding the positive divisors of two numbers. And I think I'm actually going to change this number. Let's make this minus 28, because otherwise you get the same numbers. All right, so what we're looking at is we want to find the positive divisors. So if we think about 27, we know 1 is always a divisor, so we can put 1 on both sides. The next thing is I would go to 2. 2 does not go in because it's not even. We know that 3 times 9 is 27. So we go 4, 5, 6. None of those are divisors of 27. 7, 8, and we get to 9. And then I don't think there's any other divisors until 27, but I'll just kind of, in my head, maybe count down 26, 25, 24. No, I think we're good. Okay, on the right-hand side, we have negative 28, but again, I only want the positive divisors, so that would be 1. And because it's even, we definitely want to include 2. Let's see, does 3 go into 28? Remember our trick, 8 plus 2 is 10? Nope, 3 does not go into 28. How about 4? We know that 4 times 7 is 28, so 4 is good. 5 is no good. 6 is no good. I just said 7 was good. 8 is no good. 9 is no good. 10, 11, 12. Let's see, is 12 any good? 12 times 2 is 24, so nope. 13, 14. How about 14? 14 would be good because it would go in 2 times. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, I think it's safe to say that we're up to 28. All right, so those are the positive divisors of negative 28. Okay? All right, the next thing we're going to do is another equation where you're given you're trying to find the value of n, and you're given the quotient and the remainder, right? Remember, this value represents the quotient, this value represents the remainder. We have n, and then this is the divisor in both cases. This is the divisor, this is the divisor, here the divisor is 11. So how can I find n? And it's kind of like I was talking about over here. If I, tell you what, let's just go forward again because that slide got kind of messed up here. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's just go through this then. So this is the divisor. In this example here on the left, when I have a number and I divide it by 7 and it gives me 11, and then I have a number divided by 7 and the remainder is 5, I know I can take 7 times 11 plus the remainder, and that will get me to my original number, which is 82. Over here on the right, I'm going to take 11 times -3 plus 7, and this time over here, I'm going to get -26. And if you plug this -26 in for n, you'll see that 3 goes into -26, and it gives you -33 with the remainder of +7. All right? Okay, hope that helped. Let me